Hello and welcome to Her Becoming. I am your host, Kayla Countryman. Thank you for being here with me today. Today we are continuing our seasonal living series. So about 3 months ago, episode 31 was about winter seasonal living and how to align with the intuitive energy of winter. And then today we are diving into spring. So this is a series that we'll touch on once a quarter for each season and really just get into the characteristics of that season and how you can tap into the energy of that season in your life to live in alignment with the seasons, which I think is such a powerful thing that we have access to. This is truly one of my favorite topics. I feel like I do say that every single week, but seasonality is really something that I am just so passionate about because I believe that as human beings, we are meant to flow with nature, not against it. We are not meant to be on autopilot and operate the same day after day after day. We are meant to exist just like the trees and the flowers and the birds and the animals, just as they do so naturally and so intuitively through each season. If you are new here, welcome to Her Becoming. On this show, we cover a variety of topics under the holistic health and wellness and personal development umbrellas. So seasonal living is just one of many things that we talk about on this show. I would highly encourage you after listening to today's episode to go to the show and look at all the topics that we've covered and download a few episodes that really resonate with you and topics that you want to learn more about. So for today, we are going to get into seasonal living when it comes to spring. Spring is just a few days around the corner. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, spring is coming up on March 20th in the Northern Hemisphere. And the first day of spring is the Spring Equinox. If you've never heard that term before, the equinox is the midway point between winter and summer. So for fall and spring, we get an equinox, and for winter and summer, we have the solstice. So March 20th through 21st in the Northern Hemisphere marks an equal balance of light and dark. So the first day of spring is an equal balance of day and night exactly. Whereas as we move towards summer, we get more daylight. And as we move towards winter, we get less daylight and more nighttime. So that's just a little bit about what the spring equinox as a term means. What I really want to get into on this episode is characteristics of the spring equinox and how they relate to you. How can you take these characteristics of spring and apply them into your daily life, your lessons, your routines, your habits, and just how you exist in the world? So that's what we're going to start with today. The first thing is balance and equilibrium. Like I said, equinox means equal, day and night, light and dark. So it really is a symbol of internal balance. This season is a really beautiful time to find balance between opposing things. So for example, balancing action and rest, balancing masculine energies and feminine energies, not as far as gender, but as the energies themselves, balancing productivity and pleasure. And this balance and equilibrium is a sign of that equal between light and dark, day and night that spring brings us. Another characteristic is rebirth and renewal. So the beginning of spring signifies winter coming to an end. So in episode 31, we talked about how winter is a time to slow down, to go inward, to reflect. Well, now that winter is ending, we get that rebirth, the start of growth. Some cultures celebrate this as an awakening, as a time to take what you discovered during winter when you were reflecting and going inward and bring it into action. So think of this time of year as renewal, as really stepping into what you've been thinking about, what you've been dreaming about, what you've been visioning, and bringing it to life. Another characteristic is more light than dark. So as we move through spring and towards summer, we have longer days, more daylight. This represents light, warmth, and energy, which is a shift from the darkness that we experienced during winter. A lot of people experience seasonal depression throughout the winter because of the grayness, the darkness, depending on where you live. So a beautiful thing about spring is that increase in daylight and sunshine and what that does for us emotionally and mentally. Another characteristic of spring is new beginnings. This comes along with the rebirth and the renewal, but it's really just a reminder to shed the old and make way for new opportunities in your life. Spring serves as a beginning in so many different ways. It's the start of the astrological new year. We have entered year of the horse. So it's really about stepping into that new and releasing the things that no longer serve you. And then the last characteristic that we will touch on is planting. So spring is the time when seeds are planted, literally and figuratively. And then from there, growth is gradual. So the takeaway with this one is that seeds are not planted year round. It is not always the time to plant seeds and then expect something to grow from it. And then with that, growth is not immediate, overnight, or linear. We don't plant a seed and expect to wake up to a flower the next day. We also don't plant a seed in winter and expect it to just bloom in a cold and dark environment. So it's a reminder that when we are living seasonally, we as humans are also not expected to plant seeds and grow every single day of the year, every single month of the year, and every single season of our lives. There are times for going inward and there are times for growth. And what spring shows us is that it is time. It is time to plant seeds. It is time to see that growth, but it is not going to be quick. It is not going to come overnight, and it requires patience. I also love looking at seasons from an astrology standpoint. So astrologically, the beginning of spring also brings Aries season. And like I said, this marks the astrological new year. So Aries is actually the first zodiac sign of the astrological year. Aries is a fire sign. It is time to move forward with that passion, with that fire. So some traits of an Aries, and if you have an Aries in your life, this is going to sound very familiar. Aries are natural leaders. They are proactive, they are confident and bold, they are energetic and dynamic, they are ambitious, competitive, honest, direct, and loyal. I can think of a few Aries in my life and they just take no shit. Like Aries are about their business, they move forward with fire, they are driven human beings. And interestingly enough, Aries is the most likely sign of the zodiac to become an entrepreneur. So that kind of speaks to just that go-getter mentality of Aries. And so I love this alignment that we see between spring starting and Aries season. We have this opportunity for renewal and rebirth and new beginnings that is met with the Aries energy, which is very passionate and very fiery. And then to add an additional layer to that, we've been talking a lot about the Lunar New Year. Year of the Horse started in February, and you've probably noticed that Aries season has a lot of similarities to Year of the Horse. We are specifically in Year of the Fire Horse. And so Aries being a fire sign, it is just amplified. It is time to go. It is time to move forward. It is time to be unapologetic in the pursuit of our dreams. And that's what I love about spring. But to be honest, this spring, I'm feeling more of that amplification than ever. I am feeling that inside fire to just go make things happen. And if you're not into astrology or the Chinese zodiac, another way you can look at this is just looking at nature. Like I said, seasonal living is all about looking at nature and how can we as human beings align to that natural flow and rhythm. So what do we see in nature in the springtime? We hear birds chirping more often. We see more light. We see flowers blooming again. And so how can you emulate what you're seeing in nature? That's the energy of spring. Knowing that flowers don't bloom year round. We don't hear birds chirping at the same volume and the same frequency year round because animals have their own flow that they experience through seasons. And so another way to approach this is simply by looking into nature, looking outside, going for a walk, and just noticing how much nature is activating this time of year. How can we also activate this time of year? So those are the characteristics of the spring equinox. And now I want to talk about What can you do to align your personal life with the energy of spring? So this is when the seasonal living really comes into play. I'm going to give you tangible things that you can do to really dive into spring. So the first thing, and this is the one that we've all heard, is spring cleaning. And I think we just throw that term around freely. Oh, spring cleaning, but we don't really talk about why. Why do we do spring cleaning? Spring cleaning is about making space for what's coming, like literal physical space. So yes, it is a beautiful time to clean out your closet and donate clothes, donate physical items you no longer need. But it's deeper than that. It is about releasing the things that no longer serve you to make space for the things that do belong in your life. You can do this physically, you can do this digitally, you can do this with relationships, friendships. Literally, it is a time to release. Think of Year of the Snake, let it go, things that don't serve you, and make space for what's to come. So it can be as simple as a closet clean out. In fact, I'd always recommend a quarterly seasonal closet clean out, but it is a symbol of something so much deeper. Another thing that I recommend is make the most of the additional sunlight. Like for real, especially if you live somewhere where it's been dark and gloomy and rainy and snowy. Now that the sun is going to start coming up earlier, we're going to have longer days. Wake up earlier. Get out of bed earlier. I know it's not always the most sexy thing, but I promise it will make a difference in how you feel. Wake up with the sun, start your day with the sun, get sun into your eyes first thing in the morning to support your circadian rhythm. I think having a dog helps tremendously with this. Is this me telling you to get a dog? Maybe. But it is so important first thing in the morning to get outside and get sun in your eyes. It really helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which is going to help with your energy levels and your quality of sleep. Walking my dog is the most efficient way that I do this. If you don't have a dog to walk, take yourself for a walk. It can be just a few minutes or even just standing outside of your door on your patio and get some sun in your eyes. Spring is the most amazing time to start creative projects. Start or restart. Like the time is literally now. And why? It's because of that go energy we just talked about. Aries season, year of the fire horse, spring, nature blooming. It is time to go. It is time to bring your ideas to life, or maybe pick back up something that you put on the back burner for winter. Check back in with your goals that you set for 2026. Where do you stand right now? What do you want to achieve? What did you forget about or leave off that you want to incorporate into this year? Now is the time. I know I'm always telling you to stop delaying your own success and stop waiting for the right time. If I could pick a time to amplify that, it would be now. Lean into this active energy of spring, of restarting, of beginning again, and go forward. Pick up the passion project, start the new hobby, reach out to whoever you need to reach out to, make the connections, find the new job. Whatever it is, utilize the energy of spring to get back on track or to pursue the life that you can't stop thinking about. Another thing you can do to align with the energy of spring, and this is a fun one, express yourself in a new way. So I want you to ask yourself, what is something that makes me feel confident? Something that makes you feel confident. This could be playing with your style of clothing, doing your hair in a different way, doing things that make you feel like you or make you feel sexy, get you into your sensual energy. Singing, dancing, art expression, yoga, different style of workout, longer walks, sunset walks. Like these are things that can help you feel more confident and more like yourself as we come out of winter. Winter, again, was a time to rest, to go inward. We all kind of turn into little gremlins, I think, during winter. If you live somewhere cold, especially, I have no excuse because I'm in Arizona, but I still feel a bit gremlin-y throughout the winter. But especially if you live somewhere cold, like how can you utilize having more sun, having more energy, and really make it about making yourself feel better? And a lot of the times when we look better, we feel better. And I don't mean that in a superficial way. I just mean like when you look like a baddie, you also feel like a baddie. So sometimes when internally it's not there, you gotta put it on externally and help yourself get there. I know that from many experiences last year. So how can you give yourself your own confidence boost this spring and really get into that energy? Another thing you can do is increase your social interactions that fill your cup. Emphasis on that fill your cup. We're not just increasing social interactions just to do more. Nobody has time or energy for that. But as we do have more energy and we want to be a little bit more social, we want to explore hobbies and go outside more, increase your social interactions, the ones that are meaningful to you, the ones that are actually fun and you enjoy and you like doing, do more. Maybe this means joining a club, a run club, a pickleball club, a tennis club, picking up new hobbies, going hiking, whatever it is. Increase that to get your body moving, get yourself outside, get yourself laughing with people, and just go do the things that bring you joy. With that, I'm always going to recommend playing outside specifically, spending as much time outside as you can. We don't play about this in Arizona because once it gets so hot in the summer, our outside time gets quite limited. So we're doing that right now. We're getting outside as much as we can. And if you live somewhere where it's been cold all winter, get outside now. Start to get yourself moving outside. I think as adults, we can be a little bit afraid of starting a new sport, joining a club, doing something with strangers. And I will tell you from firsthand experience of starting tennis about 7 months ago, it has been the greatest gift in my social life, but also in my fitness routine, in my movement, in my physical health, in my body love that I have for myself. It has really helped me in so many categories. So I cannot recommend enough. If you had a sport that you always wanted to try, or you had a sport you played in high school that you want to get back into, look into it. There are adults playing outside everywhere across this country. Another thing you can do to get into the energy of spring is add fresh flowers to your home. This is just a nice pick-me-up, especially for my girlies. Nobody else is buying you flowers. Buy them for yourself first. Buy them for yourself anyways. Even if somebody is buying you flowers, buy them for yourself too. Adding some nice colorful flower arrangements. I like to take my flowers and then make different arrangements with them and place them all over the house so that they go a little bit further. And that's just something that is just a nice tie to the blooming of nature. And then, dedicated to last week's episode, which was episode 42, herbal teas. Herbal teas are really great to support yourself in spring. It is allergy season. Last week we talked about how nettle is really great for supporting allergies, but you can also incorporate dandelion leaf and lemon balm this time of year for some seasonal support. And then lastly, but always important, seasonal eating. So making sure you're buying seasonal produce, go support your local farmers market, and really just diversify your meals. Diversify the fruits and the vegetables that you're eating, keep your plate colorful, and lean into the stuff that is in season over these next few months. So from that list, I hope that you choose a few to adopt this spring. I love seasonal living because it's really just a way to shake things up every quarter, every season. Live your life in a little bit of a different way, but also live it with so much intention and so much alignment to what we see happening in nature. Especially for women, we have our menstrual cycle and then we also have seasons on top of everything else going on. Our bodies are going through a lot. And so I just always want to remind you that we are not meant to operate on this 24/7, 365 day a year regimen every single day. It is not meant to be that way. We need to rest. We need to slow down. We need to ramp up. We need to lock in. Then we need to chill. There are waves for everything. And so with it being spring, now is our time to lock in, ladies. Now is our time to get shit done. And so with that, if you are in a space where you are ready to move forward, you are ready to chase your goals, you are ready to get things done, I want to remind you that I am now offering my one-on-one 90-minute visionary sessions. In a 90-minute visionary session, we can accomplish so many different things. We can do goal planning and talk about how to hold you accountable towards actually reaching your goals. I can help you map out a business plan or really think about the creative project that you've been planning out and get back on track with the execution. I can help you make changes to your nutrition, to your fitness, reaching overall lifestyle goals. And I can also help you create a morning routine, a night routine, something that is going to help you create consistency in your habits and align with your vision. So those are just some examples. Visionary sessions are completely custom to what you need in your life right now. So no two ever look the same. It's you and I one-on-one, and we dive deep into the support that you are needing in this season. So if any of that sounds like what you are looking for right now, I encourage you to go to the link in the show notes, $50 off with the code HERBECOMING, and let's spend 90 minutes together. Let's dive deep and help you close the gap between the woman you are today and the woman you aspire to be. As always, thank you for being here. Leave a review, rate, subscribe, download the episodes, share with a friend. It means the world for me. I love watching this show grow slowly but surely. I couldn't do it without you. Happy spring equinox. Happy go season, blooming season, renewal season. It is time for us to truly move forward, lock in, and achieve the life that we wanted to create for ourselves all along. So, with that, I will see you on the next episode. And until then, be well.